Rebecca voiced some concerns, but it's much ado about nothing. Ethan loves Gwen, and he's going to marry her. I'll make sure of that.
Excellent. I'm glad you're taking a hard line on this wedding, Ivy. It's imperative that it go off without a hitch.
It will, Alistair. You'll see.
Still, I wonder where Rebecca got the idea that Teresa was pursuing Ethan.
Ask your son. He knows.
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't want to be one to tell tales out of school. But Julian has been encouraging Ethan to bed Teresa for, some time now.
What? Thank you, dear.
You're right. Luis will freak out when I tell him we're in love.
Teresa, I'll talk to him. Don't worry about it.
No. Luis has a terrible temper, and there's no telling what he'd do to you.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid of him. I've gone up against him before.
I know. Just let me handle this, okay? I mean, you have so much to do. I mean, and dealing with Gwen and her mother. When the time is right, I will tell Luis.
Well, do it soon, okay? I mean, I want to be upfront and honest with everyone that we're in love. I mean, Gwen, your family, mine. And I know my parents and grandfather aren't going to be happy, but I'm determined to stand up to them.
That is one of the reasons why I love you so much. Because you are so strong, and you always want to do the right thing.
Now, there's so many people I want to know about us, but I'm first going to tell my Aunt Sheridan. I'll tell her that I love you, and I know she'll be supportive.
Your aunt? Of course.
What about her?
Sheridan is the key to Luis' understanding about our love.
You know, Ethan isn't like Julian or Alistair. He's a good and wonderful man.
I know you and Ethan are close. And you're more like brother and sister than nephew and aunt.
I know his heart. It's in the right place.
Well, maybe it was. And maybe he started out as a good kid. But money and power, they corrupt. No one's got more money and power than the Cranes. You know, now that he's a man and heir to the Crane Empire, he's a different person. You know, I've seen the way he throws his weight around with Sam and me. Even you.
He's just looking out for our family.
Whatever spin you put on it, I admire your loyalty for the guy. I remember Teresa had it in her head that Ethan was the man of her dreams. She had it all figured out. Once they met, they'd fall in love, get married. It's a good thing I put a stop to that. 'Cause now I'm convinced that the Cranes are responsible for my father's murder. There's no way I'd ever let Teresa and Ethan hook up and fall in love. Never. Hey, look, I'm sorry, you know. I don't mean to go on about how evil your family is. I know they're your own flesh and blood.
I understand how you feel. And if Julian and Alistair are involved in your father's disappearance, then they deserve all of your hatred. Mine too. Well, there's a first. We actually had a disagreement that didn't turn into a shouting match.
Yeah. You're right. Well, you know, I guess Crane Security should keep an eye on you now. I've got to go home and get some fresh clothes. Won't take long. You know, this was nice. This is real nice. Yeah, maybe when we get together again, we can do it without fighting.
I'd like that.
Well, why is Sheridan the key to Luis accepting our love?
Well, ever since my brother met your aunt, I have had this feeling that he's wanted to have a relationship with her.
Well, Sheridan was interested in Luis, too, at one time, but it's too late now. I mean, when they're together, all they do is argue.
But that just proves that they have passion for each other.
I think you're wishing for something that will never happen, Teresa.
That is what everybody told me when I wished for you to fall in love with me.
And now that I have, I want to tell everyone about it. But you know, you should get some rest. You've had a rough night.
But it's still been the best night of my life, Ethan.
Teresa, there's one more thing I have to tell you. Talk to you later.
You have made me the happiest girl in the world.
Come on, Tabitha. I know you know what happened with those snakes in the shed.
Been nice knowing you, Tabby.
It was the same thing back when I was your paper boy. Remember when I thought I saw a snake in your yard and it turned out to be a twig? Like one of these.
Yes, it's all coming back to me now. And you were such a brave little lad facing that gnarled twig. Just like our Miguel was tonight.
I wasn't fending off twigs in the shed, Chief Bennett. There were snakes.
Nice sucking up, Tabby.
They were so
As
close.
smooth as a picture of Artemis. Why doesn't Timmy and Tabitha go get one?
Hush. We're not going anywhere until we find that damn pendant. The evil charity makes a comeback. It could be our swan song.
It wasn't that long ago that you were convinced that aliens had invaded Harmony.
But we all saw the snakes, Chief Bennett.
Yeah, copy that.
Actually, I don't remember seeing any snakes.
She's pretending she didn't see it any cover that she's responsible for the snakes being in the shed in the first place.
Kay has no idea how close to the truth she is.
Julian, what the hell were you thinking, encouraging Ethan to bed the housekeeper's daughter?
I was merely having a heart-to-heart talk with my son, Father.
You're a fool, Julian, a blithering idiot. I just hope no one overheard you.
Well, I hate to cause trouble, but I overheard him. And someone else did too.
Who, Ivy? Who else knows about this?
Gwen. Gwen overheard Julian tell Ethan, dare I say it, to get it on with Teresa before he tied the knot.
Julian, you're even dumber than I thought, if that's possible. If anything happens to derail this wedding, I'll cut you off completely. You'll be living in a cardboard box swilling domestic beer with two-bit hookers if Gwen and Ethan don't get married as planned.
I bet I know why you're so happy.
You do?
Crane Security told me that Luis went home to get some clean clothes. You're glad Luis isn't here to pick another fight with you.
Actually, Luis and I just finished having a discussion where we disagreed on something and didn't yell at each other.
Really? Well, what changed?